Hey there, friend. I'm going to be talking about Kirby Star Allies, and I mean like all of the game. So I am going to go into some final boss territory, so go ahead and beat the game yourself and then come back and watch this video. Alright, that was your warning. I'm going in now. Alright, so let's start talking about what I think of the game by itself right now. Alright, so the game as is right now, it's pretty good. Like, it's a fun game. I'm not denying that. I think it's still fun. Graphics, real good. You look out into the backdrop, there's all these like wacky like shapes in the first level. Everything looks good. The music on top of that, beautiful. The bonus stages, they have like remixes of like the older tracks. I dig that. That's super rad. The gameplay, in my opinion, is too easy. Having 4 people on screen at once makes things very hectic and things just way too easy, in my opinion. Because just having like, the game seems balanced around having 1 or 2 people work on an object. Like, I've fought some of the bosses just like as Kirby by himself with no friends, and it feels a lot more balanced that way. Still easy, but not as easy. Like, I'm pretty sure you can beat the first boss within like less than a minute if you just wail on him and just go nuts with like no strategy. I think it's interesting they went for a 4-player dynamic, because they seem to really have like this like theme of having 4 people. Like, it's very much designed to be a multiplayer game, but you're only gonna have 2 Joy-Cons with your base set. You gotta shell out extra to get more controllers. So I think it would have made more sense if they would have balanced it about Kirby and just like 1 friend. You can still have the themes on friendship, but make it more balanced to Kirby Superstar Ultra, because in that game you could only have 1 helper at a time. And especially since in Star Allies, there's like 1, maybe 2 puzzles that require to have like 3 or 4 of like specific abilities, but most of the time it's just combine A with B and then you win when you use that ability. And most of the like combined abilities don't do much. Like, it's rock and water to make a curling stone, or it's air and cutter to make like a better boomerang. There's not a ton of abilities that are like, use fire sword for this and then quickly switch over to water staff. If they designed the game with more 4-player elements in mind, I think it could have worked, but it seems just very simple, like too simple for its own good. Too simple? What is this, a Kirby game for kiddies? Alright, listen. All in all though, I still enjoy the game a lot, so let's talk about the future of it. If they did do more content, which they did do with Dream Friends, with Ryan Kine-Ku, Marks, and Gooey, my son, I love him. I would love to see them expand it even more and go into more like the deep lore of the Magic Generals and Highness and Void Termina and all that. Mostly because they introduce like the sort of like, they introduce like the Dark Hearts and the Friend Hearts, and I felt like this is gonna lead into like a Dark Matter revival, like the old guy from like the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and I think 64. Like, just like a revival of like, oh, he's back, the main man, he's back with the steel chair from downtown, you know. But it never actually happens. Instead, you get Void Termina and Highness, which honestly look more like Zelda bosses. Because, I mean, like, Termina, that's the name of the Majora's Mask game. I'm not sure if that's just a fun reference or what they're planning on doing with that, but I would love to see them go into more detail about the actual lore of it. Highness at the end has like this really fast speech that kind of just blow over. where he just starts ranting about all like the old world and the giants and how he used to be like the best and history tried to forget him. And I was like, oh, we'll get into that, and we just never end up doing it. So I would love to see that happen, because especially like they bring down world like Jam Bastion, and they have like their whole language and everything, and it's only expanded in like 1 or 2 scenarios where they're just like, hello, we are from a different world, also we're here, kill us or something. Alright, I would like to see just a possible like DLC land, world, level pack, something of the sort. Just because I feel like it'd be cool to see like, I don't know, like a time warp opens up and you can go back and you see like, oh, this is why Highness wants to revive the Dark World, or whatever. Alright, so let's go on to the final part of this, Dream Friends. They already show they're willing to introduce more, and I would love to see them just kind of keep adding on to it. Because I'm not sure if they'll make another Kirby game for Switch, probably in the future, but for right now, it doesn't seem like it'll be any soon. So I could see them just doing like little like additions to it, throw on a couple new characters now and again, maybe some more like worlds or something. First off, all the magic generals. Alright, so the ice general Francesca, the fire general Flamberge, and the electric general Zan Partizan. I think these are just sort of like a natural fit for the game. Like it honestly, oh no, Mike's falling over. I think the generals were a natural fit for the game, but for some reason or another they never made it into the initial release of Dream Friends. Because they have this whole thing where they're like, we don't really want to attack you. We're just kind of like, hey, let's revive the Dark Lord, and you're kind of in the way of that, so. Plus at the end, when you finally fight Void Termina, and you fight the Void's Heart, you actually rescue them. Like, it shows in the cinematic, like, of them all flying out of it. And I kind of thought this would lead into, like, an ending cutscene, where they were like, gosh darn it, Kirby, we goofed, we're a bunch of fools, can you forgive us? And Kirby, of course, would. And then they could be, like, your dream friends to help you, like, complete the rest of the game or whatever. Because they already have, like, elemental, like, weapons, so you could, like, give elements to other people, or you could just use, like, a fire sword in itself. But, for one reason or another, they didn't make that happen, so I think it'd be cool to bring that into like a final part of it. Let's get retro up in here. Let's throw on some older Kirby guys. Let's talk about Kirby 64, the Crystal Shards. I would love to see as a dream friend Ribbon from that game, the small crystal fairy that helps you. I think it'd be cool to see her fly around and use the Crystal Shards and magic, as she's sort of like the keeper of them, from what I remember. Especially during the final boss of that game, she like moors the shards into like a gun, so you could fight like the final boss. From Kirby Squeak Squad, any of the Squeak Squad members, possibly all of them. Yeah, so you have there's 4 members. So you have DeRoach, the leader. You have Spinny, the speed. You have Storo, the brawn, and you have Doc, the brains. And I just think like they're all unique enough in a sense that they could possibly, like just all 4 of them get into it. You've seen DeRoach like once or twice just hopping in and out of games, but I think it would be cool to see all of them eventually work their way back. Taranza from Kirby Triple Deluxe. This little guy, he was a little spider demon, and he helped Queen Sectonia take over the giant Dreamstalk. And then eventually he ends up to be like a semi-decent guy. Queen Sectonia just stabs him or kills him in some way. I think it'd be cool to see him eventually come back. And just, especially since we have the new spider ability, where you could essentially just give him like spider powers, but maybe give him a couple extra like sword attacks or bees attacks, because he's implied to be like the same species of Sectonia. But Sectonia is just like the queen bee or whatever. Last up, Susie from Planet Robobot. Susie's just sort of like a fan favorite, or especially like a favorite with Nintendo. She's in there as like a marble statue, and also just like a stone transformation. I just think she's like, there's a good amount of stuff you can do with her. Like she has her mech that she summons for a boss fight. That might be a bit much, but she has like lasers and like a helmet. And this is more of a personal thing, but bring back the money gun from the final boss where he just covers the screen in money. That'd be hilarious. Alright, I think that's all I've got to say about Kirby Star Allies. So, if you just skip to the end, to be like, hey, I don't actually want to watch this, but I just want like a concise summary. Everything about the game is good. It's a bit too easy for 4 people. I would love to see them in the future explain the lore of the generals and why they're trying to summon the Dark Lord, and maybe like some expansion packs or whatnot. And I would love to see them bring back more Dream Friends. The generals, Ribbon, the Squeak Squad, Taranza, Susie. Yeah, I think that's about all I've got to say. Hey, if you like this, go ahead, like the video, subscribe, go to comments down below, tell me what you think. I realize my opinion is not the only one, so go ahead and just yell at me down there. See you later.